What is up, car addicts? Welcome to the off-road capability testing for the new Hellion. There's an update to my off-road capability testing series where I've tested the majority of off-road capable vehicles in GTA 5 Online. I'll leave the link to a playlist down below in the pinned comment where you can find all the other vehicles I have done already so you can compare. Before we start, if you have any questions as to how each obstacle is scored, please refer to a tutorial video which is linked in the pinned comment. Also remember that the most updated spreadsheet with all the off-road capability scores for vehicles I have tested so far will be linked in the pinned comment as well, along with the other brands of vehicles. The following points for each obstacle will be out of 10 possible points. The Hellion is fully customized with bumpers, side skirts, and exhaust options that provide maximum ground clearance. Also, stock suspension, which is the highest ground clearance, is also installed. Again, if you have any questions as to how each of these obstacles are scored in full detail, please refer to the tutorial video which is linked in the pinned comment. Starting off with the incline test from a flat surface, the Hellion is decent but just lacks the power to go higher up. It gets a 3.5 out of 10. In stage 2 of this test, we're started at an angled position. It does a little better and it gets really close to a 4.5, but it just falls a little short. It's a 4 out of 10. If we take both those scores, we get an average of 3.75 for the incline test. Next, we have the dirt incline test. The Hellion is excellent at climbing steep inclines. Sometimes it does lack the power depending on the incline, so keep that in mind. In this test, it makes it to the top, which gives it a 10 out of 10. Dirt braking is above average. It stops just at the beginning of the last red block. According to the markers, it gets a 9 out of 10. Rock crawling for the Hellion is absolutely amazing. No hesitation whatsoever and very good ground clearance. Through all 3 obstacles it bottoms out a total of 3 times, which gives it a 7 out of 10. In stage 2 of this test, which is subjectively scored, again, it has no hesitation and very good ground clearance for its size. It gets a 10 out of 10. Now if we take both those scores, we get an average of 8.5 out of 10 for the rock crawling test. Powertrain is above average. We see wheel spin mainly from the driver's side rear wheel and passenger side front wheel. It gets a 7 out of 10. Next up we have bumper clearance. It has extremely good bumper clearance, does not scrape at all, which gives it a 10 out of 10. Suspension travel is average. According to the markers, it gets a 6 out of 10. High speed stability is very strange. It's really glitchy and bouncy over these bumps. Not as smooth as I would have hoped compared to the other off-road vehicles I've tested. This definitely has some sort of handling flag on it causing this. I can't give it more than a 5 out of 10 for this test. Next up we have deep water testing. In stage 1, it makes it to the end, which gives it a 10 out of 10. In stage 2, which is the deeper side, it unfortunately dies right at the red block number 8, which gives it an 8 out of 10. If we take both those scores, we get an average of 9 for the deep water test. And finally, we have the dirt acceleration test. This path is exactly a quarter mile long. Using the handbrake launch, it gets a very good 13-second quarter mile. This gives it a 7 out of 10. Add it all together and the off-road capability score is 75.25 out of 100. It mainly struggles with the high speed stability and the incline test. So if we compare the Hellion to all the off-road class vehicles I have tested so far, That places it here in 16th place, right behind the Sand King XL, which is a very respectable off-roader. Now, if we compare it to all the vehicles I've tested so far from all the different classes, sports, SUVs, everything, that places it here in 16th place as well. You can see how close it is to the contender. That just goes to show how good the Hellion really is. Keep in mind that these positions may change as more manufacturers and newer cars release. All in all, the Hellion is a good choice for off-roading and a decent all-rounder that is amazing at rock crawling. If we only factor in its off-roading performance, I don't believe it's worth its $1 million price tag with upgrades. There are many other off-road vehicles like the Camacho, for example, that can outperform it at way less of a cost. The main issue with the Hellion is the cost. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you'd like to see the other videos on the other vehicles I've tested so far and how the new Anis Hellion compares to all the other ones, I'll link the playlist down below in the pinned comment, as well as a spreadsheet which will contain the most updated breakdown and scores for all vehicles in one place. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.